I'm Chef Alyssa Brake at Beer Church Brewery in New Buffalo, Michigan. And today we are going to feature our pizza kits that we want to use for or sell to families like you that are looking for things to do with your kids during this difficult time while you're at home. So today we'll feature a couple of pizzas that you can do with your kids, or you can just do by yourself for fun, and hopefully that will help you get through this interesting and surreal time that we are all dealing with. So pizza kits that we are making for you will include 2 dough balls of our house-made dough, our house-made San Marzano tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella, and our char-cut pepperonis. As an option, we have other options available as well. But today I'm going to feature those 3 and another option for a second pizza. Enough ingredients will come with the 2 pizza doughs. And with this style of pizza, although you won't be rolling out or hand tossing the dough like we do in Beer Church specifically, you'll still be rolling the pizza dough out to a thinner style of dough. And so it seems like the ingredients will be a little skimpy, but they're really not. For the 2 doughs, it should be just enough because here at Beer Church for our pizzas, actually less ingredients is more, and it makes everything come out perfect and beautiful, and just enough for everybody to be able to enjoy, and you'll still be able to have a little bit of that Neapolitan-style pizza that we generally have here at the brewery. Okay, so if you happen to be lucky enough to have a pizza stone for your oven, again, you would like to start heating. You need to preheat your oven to 500 degrees, and you need to make sure that that pizza stone is also heated with the oven. It can take a considerable amount of time. If you have a pizza stone and you've used it, you already know the steps that you need to go through. But basically, if you're new to having a pizza stone, you just need to make sure that you preheat your oven and that pizza stone is the same temperature as the oven. So it can take, depending on the thickness of your stone and how good your oven is and what kind of oven you have, it can take anywhere from 15 to 25 to 30 minutes at least. So just make sure that you're preheating your oven and you're preheating your pizza stone. So like the baking sheet method, we're going to roll out our pizza dough in quarter and in half turns up to that 12-inch size for our pizza dough. And again, this is kind of like the more fun task for your kids to do, and because again our dough is generally very forgivable as far as shapes go, that's what makes this part really great for kids to participate in. So the dough is pretty forgivable as far as shapes go. So if you need to reshape it by hand, it's really easy to do. You just kind of tug very lightly and gently at the corners or the areas that you kind of want to shape. You can also do it by going from the center, and it usually shapes up the way that you want it to. Okay, so we're pretty much just about there to get it onto your pizza peel. The nice thing is our dough again is like incredibly forgivable as far as reshaping. So if you're feeling really confident, you can absolutely 100%. And I know not everybody's pizza peel is going to look like this. You probably have a wooden one at home that's a little bit thicker. But for what we have here, the concept will be the same regardless of what your peel looks like. But you can, if you feel daring, since you're going to par bake this, you can just drag it onto the peel and reshape it. If you're not feeling so confident in doing that, you can do the rolling pin method, which is like what you do for pie crust, which is just roll it up on your rolling pin and then roll it out on your peel. And from there, you can transfer it over onto your pizza stone, which is our next step. So, we obviously have a very long pizza paddle here to shoot our pizzas into our wonderful wood-fired oven, but whatever, it doesn't really matter the type of oven you have. What matters is that your pizza stone is up to temperature, and all you do is just, lightly go back and forth and just, shake it right out. Obviously in a regular, more conventional home oven, you're gonna have a rack that's a little bit closer to you, so you don't have to reach in so far where it's so hot, but the idea is just shaking it just slightly back and forth until that pizza dough slides right off of there, and then it just sits on the stone like that until it gets set. So it's only going to take a few minutes. It probably will take a little bit less than 5 if it's properly heated up. So just keep your eyes on it, and then when you're ready, it should easily transfer back onto your peel, and you can take it out of the oven. And then once that's ready, you can start topping it. And so what it looks like in here right now is we're getting an air bubble, no big deal, that happens, but that means that the dough is pretty much set. So we're just gonna put it back on our peel here. So there's still a little bit of rawness to the dough, and that's okay. The idea is that your pizza stone, or even if you do this on a baking sheet, is going to have this texture to it to where at least the outer shell is set, which is great. It's not necessarily for you to check, but if your oven is hot enough, it's not going to take very long at all. And we have our oven set to 500, so that way it doesn't seem like we were cheating. We normally have ours set to a lot higher than that. So from here, I'll just transfer this over to my cutting board, and we'll start to top it, and then we can put it back in the oven, and you'll have your finished pizza. Okay, so for topping our pizzas, I've got some tools here. We have both of our styles here. This one was on the pizza stone, and then this one was on the baking sheet. I let this go a little bit long, but it's not to worry. I mean, you don't really want to get any more color than this on it, and it's okay if you do. Pizza is not ruined by any means. So, what you're going to start with is you're going to start with the sauce, and it's up to you on what utensils you want to use. You can use a really big spoon like this, which will help spread the sauce a little bit more evenly and better, so I'll do a demo with that. Or if you have just kind of a slightly bigger serving spoon, that will also work. Same principles. So for the bigger spoon, you're just gonna take a nice big scoop, and you're gonna put it on, maybe just a little bit more, not a whole lot, and you wanna inch up on the handle of the spoon, so you're kind of right there at the edge, because that way it gives you better mobility into spreading the sauce out, which is awesome. It makes it a little bit more even. You also have to spread it out in fewer passes, which is great. So we're gonna put this over here now if you don't need it. And then, but if you don't have one of those big spoons and you're using something like this, still same thing. So you're just gonna do a few more of these, like that, but same idea. You wanna choke up towards the end of the spoon, and then that way you can actually use the mobility in your wrist to be able to spread the sauce a lot more evenly than if you were down here, because down here will, you end up having to do this kind of thing, and, it's just, this does it a lot more evenly. Okay. So, next, and I am going to bring in another topping since we have two different pizzas. This is our fennel sausage that we have in-house, and it's really great. So the next thing is going to be your mozzarella, and we use fresh mozzarella here at Beer Church. So don't be shy, just crumble it on like so. We have enough for 2 pizzas, so no big deal. So just evenly divide them. And then you're just gonna spread it out. And it's gonna seem like your pizza is gonna be a little on the naked side as far as the cheese, but this stuff melts super, super well. So the reason why in the brewery we end up using so little cheese on our pizzas is because once they heat up, that mozzarella just spreads and melts everywhere. And if we were to add too much, the dough would become really soggy, and it just would be a lot harder for you to pick up and, you know, hold it like a real Italian where you like fold the pieces in half and it just holds up underneath the weight of the ingredients. So it just makes it too wet and it's less pleasant to eat. So again, the less is more kind of concept here, where, you know, we just basically want the optimal amount of ingredients to the pizza so that you get like a wonderful experience. Okay, so got our cheese pretty evenly spread. You want to leave a little bit of an edge, obviously. You know, you want your crust. So we'll do pepperonis next, and these are char cut pepperonis. So what they do is when they cook, especially when they're at hotter temperatures, they will cup up and they char around the edges. So it's, you know, really neat to see. It also makes them a lot more flavorful because they just kind of trap in all of the like juices and the fats that they have in the pepperoni, and it just, you know, you get more of that pepperoni flavor, and it's just amazing. Much better than just a regular old pepperoni. So we got that there, evenly spread, and then this is our final sausage. Again, you're kind of gonna sprinkle it on like you did the cheese, just as evenly as possible over the pizza. All right, and there you go. I mean, and from here, if you'd like to add more ingredients and you don't want to, you know, just stop here, feel free to add on more, you know, but don't go too crazy. You don't want to go too heavy, or else, again, the center will be too soggy and it'll be, you know, not as pleasant to eat. However, you know, do experiment. Your kids might have a good time just trying to figure out and try new ingredients. And, you know, if something doesn't work out, you can always try again. We're gonna have these pizza kits available for some time, so, you know, you can always get another kit, try something new. So from here, we're gonna have one pizza back on the baking sheet and then one pizza back on the pizza stone. So for the pizza on the baking sheet, and so all you need is just, if you have a big spatula, it doesn't necessarily have to be offset like this, but any kind of like spatula you have at home, if you need two, just because of the size of the pizza, that's totally fine. So you just like come underneath it and scoop. Since the pizza crust is set, you shouldn't have any worry about being able to be mobile, but you just transfer it gently over to your pan. And then you can stick this back in the oven. What you're looking for here when you're going back into the oven with either of these pizzas is mainly for the cheese to be melted. For the char cut pepperonis, you'll know that they're really close when they'll cup up pretty quickly. You don't necessarily need to have that char around the edges, but you'll see when they cup up and the cheese is melted that you're ready to go. So that could take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes in a 500-degree oven. So just, you know, keep an eye on it. Start at 5 minutes and then just check it every minute after that until you start to see the cheese melting. Maybe you get a little bit of browning, and you know, kind of to the desired effect. So we'll put this in the oven and then we'll transfer the other one to the pizza stone. So for the pizza stone, you're gonna take your peel, and now that it's kind of cooled down, it might be a little bit warm, you should be able to just slide it onto your pizza peel pretty easily. And from here, you just put it back on your stone, and you're going to do the same movements of just gently shaking back and forth until it releases off the paddle, and you'll be good to go. So once you remove from the oven, you're just going to take your any kind of spatula you have, and you're just going to set it right on top of a plate or a cutting board, however you want to do it. You're pretty good to go. Even with the pizza's cool obviously with the two different methods, this one was on the pizza stone and this one was on the baking sheet. I mean, there's really not a huge difference between them. It's just what you have in your kitchen and what you can do with your family to have a good time. So, from here, obviously you can just puff them up and get ready for everybody to share pieces together. And again, you can get our basic kit, but you can get as creative as you want with these. You can add different cheeses if you'd like. You can add, different toppings. You don't necessarily have to go with just what we give you. We just want to give you guys the basics so that you have something to work with your family. Give your kids something fun to do, a fun activity, and then you all get to enjoy eating together and making something like wonderful together. So you guys look at that, it's awesome. Melty cheese, and you can still fold it up and eat it. It's strong, holds up to all the ingredients. So yeah, this is a great way to spend your time together while we're all dealing with this interesting and different way of living for the time being.